Adam's letter to Ethan, his son, written before dawn. My son, how are you feeling today? Still dark outside as I sit here typing away, feeling the ambience of the new house. It's a kind of dark that does not feel hostile, only honest. The world has not yet begun performing for itself. No engines, no notifications, no expectations, just breath and time, and a quiet that feels like it is listening back. I wanted to write to you before the day found you, before it asked you to become something again. There are things a father learns to late truths that do not announce themselves when you are young and ambitious, when strength still feels infinite and mistakes feel temporary. These truths come when life has worn the shine off your certainties, and come when you have been disappointed by your own resilience. Let me tell you one of those truths. You will spend much of your life trying to be met. Met in your joy, met in your grief, met in your confusion, met in your exhaustion, met in the versions of yourself that don't photograph well, Akina, and again, that most people can only meet you selectively, okay? They meet you when you are useful. They meet you when you are pleasant, okay? They meet you when you are strong. They meet you when you resemble who they need you to be. This is not cruelty. It is human limitation. I did not understand this when I was younger. I thought love meant consistency. I thought loyalty meant endurance. I thought that if I showed up long enough, if I held myself together well enough, people would eventually meet me fully. They never did, and I do not blame them. When our family left Austria and crossed the ocean, we brought with us a belief that survival required composure. We learned early that vulnerability was a liability. We learned how to speak fluently in achievement, how to dress wounds in silence, how to turn pain into productivity. We learned how to look fine. What we did not learn was how to sit with ourselves when everything we built stopped making sense. That lesson came later. It came when success no longer quieted the noise. It came when discipline could not hold together what grief had loosened. It came when I realized that being admired was not the same as being known. I remember a night, I have never told you this, when I stood in a quiet kitchen long after midnight, staring at a glass I had no intention of filling. The house was asleep. The man I was pretending to be during the day had finally gone silent, and I realized something terrifying. There was no one I could call who would meet me exactly as I was in that moment. Not with advice, not with expectations, not with disappointment masked as concern. I had outgrown the roles I had been performing, but I had not yet found a place to set them down. That is where prayer found me, not as a habit, not as a tradition, not as a rule inherited from others, but as a meeting. There is a difference, my son, between speaking into the air and being received. You feel it immediately. One leaves you emptier, the other leaves you lighter, even if nothing has changed. Prayer was the first place I learned that I did not need to arrive assembled. I could come fractured. I could come resentful. I could come ashamed of the man I had become. I could come numb, tired of trying to fix myself. I could come when even my own name felt unfamiliar, and I still haven't received it. No accounting, no performance, no conditions disguised as love. That is when prayer stopped feeling like something righteous people do and started feeling like somewhere the wounded go to survive. You see, the world teaches you to curate yourself, to edit your fears, to explain your failures before anyone else can, to stay impressive even when you're collapsing internally. Prayer does the opposite. It invites the part of you that is unpresentable. It welcomes the thoughts you cannot defend. It allows you to exist without justification. Every single day, you get 5 chances to meet without having to prove yourself. Just think about it for a sec. Who else is going to check in on you 5 times a day, no matter where you are? Who else will meet you when you are sober and when you are not? When do you feel hopeful, and when does that resentment creep in? When are you all in, and when do those doubts start to bubble up? Isn't it wild how you can feel super proud of yourself one moment and then just can't stand looking at your own reflection the next? No one. People love versions. God meets reality. During your divorce, when your thoughts looped endlessly, when nights stretched longer than they should, when alcohol promised silence but delivered shame, who would have met you then without keeping score? Who would not remind you of who you used to be? Who would not ask when you were going to get better? Who would not grow tired of the same confession repeated in different words? Only the one who does not measure you by progress. That is why people return to prayer. Not because they are disciplined, not because they are pure, not because they are strong, but because they are welcome, okay? And when you are welcomed exactly as you are, something inside you stops running. The part of you that is always bracing for rejection finally rests. The defenses soften. The lies lose their grip. This is what the verse means when it says, "Verily, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts find rest." Not because the world becomes gentle, not because suffering evaporates, but because your heart finally has a place where it does not need armor. Prayer is not an escape from life. It is the place where life can no longer deceive you. It strips away the illusions gently. It reveals what you are carrying without condemning you for it. It reminds you that you are not the worst thing you have done, nor the best thing you have achieved. 5 times a day, you are invited back to truth. And truth, when offered with mercy, heals in ways nothing else can. I know there will be days when the noise returns. Days when your mind tells you that you are behind, broken, unworthy of being met again. Days when shame tries to convince you that the door must finally be closed. It never is. The door was never locked. It was never guarded. It was never waiting for you to become someone else. It was waiting for you, exactly as you are, still breathing, still reaching, still worthy of being received. Remember this when the morning feels heavy. Remember this when the night stretches long. Remember this when you forget who you are. You are always expected. You are always welcomed. You are always met with a love that does not tire, with a mercy that does not keep score, with a presence that never leaves before dawn. With love, your dad, Adam, has some wild stories. If you're loving this, share and subscribe for more fun tales. What part got you thinking?